Howard Saltman.
Here.
David Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No. All right. First is business finance, approval of employee insurance renewal premiums. And this is an action item. That the Board of Education review and approve the employee insurance premiums recommended by the insurance committee as attached. Andrew, do you want to amend the motion?
Sure.
Well, I think we'll have to wait to see which one we do.
So there are a few decisions in front of you this evening that have to be made because Blue Cross needs that information. But so that you know exactly how this process went, it started back in September when the insurance committee met. And all the insurance plans now have been laid out for everyone, from the health insurance to dental to vision to lifelong term disability and additional purchases that an employee can make to life add-ons. But the first and largest decision, of course, is the health insurance. So what we had taken a look at is a couple of different scenarios with some modifications. And the modifications would be as such that would affect under the alternative one plan. It actually increases the out-of-pocket. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And then alternative 2 is the deductible and out-of-pocket. So under the first one, those increases would affect somebody from anywhere from $250 to $500 if they're on family. And that is a plan that the committee would like to go with, but we had 2 board members who sat on that committee as well. And they were mostly interested in alternative 2, which reduced that premium level even further. But then the effect of that is not only out of pocket on deductible, it is also
Out of pocket transfer.
there you go. And under both scenarios, there is an additional net increase to RX co-pays mail order. So under the revised renewal, we had a 9.1 increase, and we started with a little over 10%. And then alternate 1 is 7.8% increase, and alternate 2 would be a 7.6% increase. Now, if you move to the middle of all of this, because that premium starts in January of this year, so it's really, it affects the budget 50% of that total dollar amount. And then the other 50%, of course, will be in next year's budget. So what we're looking at is for the first renewal with the 9.1, and that should bring no modifications, no modifications. That would be an increase to the budget of nearly $152,000. Under alternate 1, that would be an increase to the budget of $109,735, and alternate 2 would be an increase to the budget of $102,510.
You say increase in the budget, don't you mean increase in the budget deficit?
Yes. Yes. Well, yes, it increases the budget for the deficit. Yes.
Or that's just for that year?
Right, that's for 6 months.
So annually, you have to double these numbers.
Right, which is above that. I have those numbers as well. 303,000, really 304,000 with a 9.1, 219,500 for 7.8, and the 205,000 for 7.6. So do you want to take this piece by piece and talk about first?
I think we should.
Yes, okay.
So I think let's discuss the health insurance, and maybe, Mary, you can share with us why you went with, you were.
And if I can interrupt 1 second, David is here from WL, so if there's any specific questions you have, I'm going to allow David to answer those.
Well, we should probably say, in fairness to the committee, that they were looking for the biggest bang for the buck. And they didn't feel like going to Plan 2 with a amount of coverage change and the premium savings, they didn't feel like the math added up.
I
That's
also felt like, last year, the changes that we made, increasing the deductible and emergency copay and that, you know, we're continuing to make changes that decrease their benefits.
So they're enduring the complete frustration of what's going on in the regular world of the health insurance marketplace. Premiums are going up, coverage is going down, and they are frustrated. Long story short.
Can you share anything about what, I mean, from our 4 unions, what any members from the unions were there had to say about the odds?
I just did.
Okay, so that was it.
What is the contract?
Mary can add, but
The various contracts, so what
We
is
pay
their,
a portion of their premium,
okay, so
95%, 90%.
a specific percentage?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
So we got last week, and that's when this recommendation was made. The week before, we also met, and we knew that there was going, you know, we had started at a 10.5 and we said 9.1. And then the insurance broker presented us with various savings that were there. And they were 3.2. There's 3.2% savings options. And so when we discussed it 2 weeks ago, we discussed splitting that cost so that, you know, we find savings at 1.5% and then we base with the, you know, at 1.5%. And then when they came back to us with the deductible increase, then the unions, their position changed and they won that. So I felt like we went a little bit backwards.
well, another foundational thing, going way back now, I recall when we changed brokers, is that the right term?
yes.
That we were gonna get a less expensive situation. So is this based on our claims experience, the marketplace?
Well,
What are the
there's some other,
factors
there's
involved?
like savings in other places. BAP is gonna get rolled in, if we agree. BAP will get rolled in with some of the life insurance coverages. And it does decrease the benefits to the employees just a smidge, but it also saves us 20,000, but in light of these numbers, it's not enough to cover.
The new insurance broker is bringing some technology along that will then decrease the workload.
And increase the accuracy, so there's been an issue with the district in just regards to what the carriers have on file for who's eligible for coverage and what the district has on file. There's been a disconnect, which is what our technology will help eliminate. So last year, we mentioned in the last board meeting, there was a bill that showed up from Blue Cross Blue Shield for the tune of $200,000 in December that the district had to pay. That was a deficit in what they had been paying from, you know, on a month-to-month basis, or else Blue Cross Blue Shield was going to cut coverage off. So that was due to there being people in the system that actually didn't have coverage and some other discrepancies. So that's one of the big things that we're working with Ben right now on, is to clean that data up so that you don't have discrepancies between what you have in your system versus what the carrier has in their system. So at the end of the day, you have to pay what the carrier has in their system. So if there's a discrepancy, you kind of get the short end of the stick.
So how that works out is if someone leaves the district, but it doesn't get caught. I mean, just for kind of a more, we can't help you, that would be what that would be.
I have a couple of questions. Do you cover any other school districts?
We've worked with other school districts in the past, currently we don't have any other school districts.
Okay, I guess and another question would be, because it's 9.1% increase, does that seem kind of high or normal in the ballpark? And Andrew, I guess you could probably answer that too. What do you guys think? I mean, we're pretty large, employee-wise, pretty large business, I guess, if you will, or coverage.
Right, and we did ask that question of them, what was the norm of the market, taking into consideration again, truly, it is all the claims.
Yeah, sure.
And so,
Yeah, and so, I mean, the claims have gotten, worse over the past few years, which is really what's causing this, which is why we had to make such dramatic changes last year. Because last year, when you were starting out, you were still in that 8 to 9% of initial increase, and then dramatic changes were made to the plan to bring that increase down to 1 point something percent, I believe. So it really is around the claims experience. I mean, what we're seeing typically, and we do work with fairly large groups, even larger than yourselves. So most of our clients are self-funded, but what we're seeing in the market from a fully insured standpoint is in that 8%, 8.5% increase norm. So you guys aren't way out of whack with that. You're just out of whack with what you've seen in the past as your claims has continued to get worse. So
with that statement, do you feel like we're a little bit, I won't say odd, but different, being that it's full funded versus self-funded?
That's not that uncommon for school districts, even school districts of your size, but it is uncommon for employer groups of your size in other industries.
I did make a call to somebody who owed me a favor, somebody from an old school district. And he said on a full funded, 8.5 is norm. If we had a bad year of experience, at 9.1 is not out of the realm of possibility.
Okay.
He also asked me the same question: why are you doing full coverage versus self-funded? Because most school districts in our area with this many employees are self-funded. And I know that there's history related to our self-funding process. And so I think that there's a comfort level with the full.
Yeah, there was a representative from Blue Cross that we meet with her every year, and she was quizzed about this. They're handing out increases on insured groups anywhere, she said, between 5 and 18%.
Wow.
That was kind of the range she gave, right? Depending on loss history, and our loss history is really bad.
Yeah, sure.
Our loss history is really bad in what span of time?
They look at the year.
Yeah, so depending on when the renewal gets done, there's always a lag in claims history as far as when you can use it. So if you do a renewal in September, you're typically using June to June. So June of the prior year to June of this year. And so and they look at historically too, but that'll be kind of the main period that has the highest weighting from an average standpoint.
Well, I think that's probably part of this question. I'm talking historically, like, are we going back 8 years? Let's see what kind of.
Yeah, because I want to sort out whether this is due to the marketplace as a whole, these costs, and if it is, will it keep going up? Or is it due to our claim experience the last year or two? Because over time, over the 5 to 10 year period, your claims experience ought to be at some average, right? So.
That insurance never goes down, I mean, unless
Right.
there's some magic.
Yeah,
thing.
sure.
I want to know who that is.
Well,
but it has varied historically. We were for a long time in double-digit increases. And then it was scaled back, but a lot of that was due to us making modifications to the plan as well. And the claims history, that goes run in different cycles, and it ends up being what it is when you take a look at the numbers, and they've always had detailed out. I think we have 3-inch binders full of all the detail behind it.
Yeah, but
of all those medical issues. But I will say, due to the Affordable Care Act, yes, there have been a lot of enhancements made that we've had because of that.
But if you look at people are people, the body doesn't change. I mean, across a large population, and so statistically, if you look at the probability of certain kinds of claims over a certain period of time, I'll bet it's always the same. Now, the cost of treating those injuries or diseases, that can certainly go up. right? But unless something changes in the world significantly, I doubt, if there's gonna be that much difference in claims experience over a long period of time, long meaning
But
10 years,
I
let's
will
say.
say, when we talk to our actuaries who do this OPEB, the continuing insurance, they will tell you that insurance has defied all the numbers that they have ever worked with. An actuary never had calculated out these types of increases for this period of time. And to look at it being sustainable. So even they can't really support one way or another. Or at least I can tell you 2 years ago when we talked to our actuary about these types of things.
It seems counterintuitive. I mean, if you collect enough data, I would think you'd be able to project the line in where you expect claims experience to go, and maybe where you could expect the cost of treating those claims to go. It's not like the weather, the weather's.
It's only based on the last year.
Well, but I'm saying, can you get beyond it? I mean, because what I'm worried about, if we're gonna spend another couple $100,000 this year beyond what we expected, what about next year?
Well, we've asked for next year for them to go to multiple insurance providers and get more quotes.
Right,
Which they
and
have
so
the
starts out,
opportunity to do this year.
a couple things here. First of all, you should know that the large claims are capped at 135,000 with a computer loss ratio, and that's really significant
Okay.
and in our favor.
Right.
That's in our favor. We've talked with David and the insurance committee about starting like January 1 to look at things like health savings account policies where there's for people who don't use their health insurance and they can plow the money into an HSA and don't want to spend it on premium. I don't know why we don't have that option available to them, but we don't, and that would obviously affect our loss experience, but we would have to educate folks on how those work if they're not familiar with how they work. It's pretty easy, but you gotta tell people. And then obviously when we renew again, we're gonna need more than just one bid from the healthcare marketplace.
Yeah, and then another thing that we talked about, or, was brought up in discussion, since Northwestern's taken over in this region, prices for services have increased substantially, and we're wondering what kind of role that plays because the insurance company is probably paying out more. And then we asked about dependent and spouse usage versus employee, and employee usage rated higher than spouse and employee, because you can always go back and make we can't go back and make modifications, but in the future we could. If a spouse is eligible for insurance in their own workplace, then we can charge it like an extra fee.
The distance limit.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a distance limit, and for smokers too.
So how about we discuss alternative 1 and 2? I mean, I think they shared their reasoning and we heard why the insurance committee wants 1. And any thoughts on alternative 1 and 2? Which way you'd like to go? Alternative 1 and 2? Howard?
Well, Alternative 2 is clearly the least expensive of the alternatives. But we have also just finished negotiation with the teachers union, in which the teachers union has been extremely accommodating to us, as far as I can tell, by agreeing to a negative increase on base salaries over the next couple of years. And at this point, I think it's appropriate to go with the one policy insurance-wise that gives them back some of the sacrifice of the salary.
Oh, it doesn't give them back.
It doesn't give them back, but it provides something that's of value coming from the district. And I want them to have something that's of value, because I want to see a situation where we use the full package of what we have to offer to faculty as a recruiting device for trying to get the faculty that we want over the long run. So right now, we can't really talk salary with people that are coming in to become new employees, because salary is going to drop next year. Yeah, that's going to be attractive, but we could say we have the better insurance policy than going over to some competing district. and we are going to be competing for the people that we employ. So I like to look at this and go, it's a minimal amount of increase per policy that we're actually looking at between between alternative 1 and alternative 2. And I think that it's worth it in terms of giving us bargaining position with new people coming on staff to have something that we can put on the table.
Do you know the difference per paycheck in these two plans? I know that's a really picky question, but if you were just an average run-of-the-mill DCT employee with a spouse and two dependents, what's the change in your paycheck gonna look like?
For between the two?
Yeah.
I can calculate that. I know right now that the dependent, the board's contribution for their dependent premium is actually exceeded. They are having to pay
Yeah.
additional, the cap is being exceeded currently. Even with the new contract, it did save them a little. It was like, I think the increase, went from 7,000 cap on dependent to 7,175. And that was a savings to them about $6.33 a paycheck for those who have all the family coverage. But I can calculate really quick a different, like what would the premium would look like.
And didn't last year also have these calculating that, didn't we? I mean, they took a pretty good hit.
And you're still really angry about it.
So I mean, I think that goes along with Howard's, point right there, that they did last year take a pretty good sized hit, and,
Well, another thing that factors into what you're saying, Howard, I think is, maybe after tonight, we'll know what's gonna happen to the Affordable Care Act. I mean, we won't know exactly, but we'll have an idea of whether it's gonna sort of stay or sort of go. And I'm worried about the change over a number of years, say the next 5 years, right? There's still a lot of unknown at this point, right? I mean, the premiums could go quite a lot higher in the next year or two if whatever happens, and I don't know about it.
We gotta just deal with what we got, this is one.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would factor into your decision tonight. You ought to be able to.
Well, because Howard, it'd be one additional thing to think about what Howard's saying. Spend a little bit more
That's
now,
right.
rates is like, well, if their premium costs are higher now, we want the lower cost.
I don't know what they're.
And then there was a big jump next year, and the jump would be even larger. Right, so I'm saying little increments might be better than, saving a little bit now and having a big.
Some of the bargaining units, there's no, and that's the other thing here.
yes.
Some of our bargaining units, on the dependent coverage, they have zero help from the district for the dependent coverage. And that's where some of the angst starts to come in about, rising premiums and lack of rising pay, which there's clearly angst about that. And then we do have employees in other bargaining units who are working here and they are writing us checks back for the insurance. So we have to be really cognizant of the varying levels of income between employees in our district and what this premium does to them.
Not just a teacher thing.
Yes, teacher, we do have some teacher assistants that actually pay us at the end of each month.
So am I kind of hearing that alternative 1 is, which kind
Use
of
the
where
impact to the.
or no?
I know that, so there's another place where they want their coverage improved. So I'm still kind of hung up on the fact that they didn't meet us halfway and then they've got a pretty premium jump in something.
No, I
And not
Dental.
patient dental.
Dental, there's a
The
jump.
dental, there was an increase.
Vision's going down,
Right.
but dental's going up.
Vision's going down because we agreed that you can only get one new pair of eyeglasses a year versus 2.
No, once every
Once every 2
4
years.
months.
Yeah.
Do you, so if I understand correctly, that out of the two choices here, in fact, right? There's 2 choices and that's right. Well, there's 3, I guess that one is 9.1%. That obviously would be the least impact cost-wise to people paying premiums, employees paying
Right.
premiums. And then the middle of the road is 1, it looks like.
Right.
And so the difference between, I don't, this young man here was calculating the difference between the alternate 1 and 2. Do a feel for the difference between the 9.1% rate increase and then the alternate 1. You know, so there's 3 plans here that you look at, 9.1% increase is the least impact to the employees.
No, they still pay, no, they have a 9.1% increase on the part they pay.
But is that the least impactful in terms of how much money they?
No, that's
It's the least impactful as far as changes.
Yeah, it all depends on how much they use the plan. So for those people that use the plan more, they could be out of pocket more with the changes and the increases to the deductible and maximum. But they're getting less premium out of their pocket. So they have less fixed costs, but more variable costs versus if you don't change the plan design, you have more fixed costs and less variable. So it's just kind of how you want to slice and dice it.
And so, I mean, is that like an 80-20 rule with the employees then? I mean, is 20% of the people using the insurance the most, 80%?
Yeah, and for the 20% that's using it the most, these types of changes really aren't big impacts. These types of changes are really more impactful to the people that are kind of in more of that median section. So the people that are using it a tremendous amount, who are your big dollar claims, these types of changes aren't really affecting that nearly as much because they're maxing out no matter what they do.
So what plan, what choice is the least impactful for that median group? That, 80%?
Again, it's difficult to say because one provides you with lower fixed costs and higher variable costs, and the other provides you with higher fixed costs.
So which one is the lower fixed cost, alternate one?
Yes, no, so alternative 2 will be the lowest as far as fixed costs, but the highest as far as variable costs, whereas the current plan design, the first renewal, the 9.1% increase, has the largest increase in fixed costs and the lowest impact to variable costs because you're not getting plan changes. So you're not increasing out of pocket at all because you're not making plan changes, but you're increasing the premium more. Does that make sense?
Right, so the people that are, the employees aren't paying any more for that plan?
They are paying more as far as premium, but they're not paying more as far as out of pocket.
And their coverage isn't changing.
Because their coverage isn't changing. Right.
And which one do they prefer? Oh, so they're,
It looks like what was that, about a nickel
Really?
per paycheck?
Okay.
I mean, that's,
It's all between 1 and 2.
yeah, I mean, you're looking at 7.8 versus 7.6, so out of their paycheck, yeah, I mean, you're looking at it, again, that's, estimated, which would be about a $1.50 increase over what they're currently paying.
Oh.
And that's
Per year?
per paycheck,
so that's an answer, $1.50 more.
yeah, basically.
No, that's going from alternative 1 to alternative 2, right?
It's
Or
not.
that-
If you're, no, that's going from what they're currently at.
Okay, gotcha.
They're currently at, and then with alternative 1 or 2, again, it's about $1.50 per paycheck, and that is for our TCT income. What they,
And they have the best benefit package.
for individual coverage.
Yes.
So alternate 1 and 2 is about $1.50 more than what they're currently paying per paycheck, is that what you said?
Yeah.
What?
They're currently paying, let's just do dollars. They're currently paying $17.92 a paycheck for our PPO plan. It would go up to roughly 1932 or 1927 from the 1792. So again, it's
$1.50 more. Increase.
Yeah.
And out of that increase, there's only a nickel difference between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Are all of these PPO plans?
we have, well, the one that the majority of our employees are enrolled in is our PPO 750 plan. I mean,
And the PPO, the low PPO plan is the only one receiving the deductible and or maximum change. The PPO high plan and the HMO plan are only receiving the increase in prescription total. And that was because the majority of people are in that PPO low plan. So that's where you get the most bang for your buck. Changing some of the factors in the other 2 plans doesn't really give you any significant changes, so it wasn't worth doing that.
Now with, whatever alternate we take 1 or 2,
That's obviously gonna create a little bit of a difference in there, maybe a variance or whatever. Will that affect the contract at all?
No.
Nothing?
No.
So we're not binded by one certain thing or an area of or whatever? Okay.
Does anybody want to make a motion at this time to adjourn? We want or discussion?
I'm ready to vote.
Are you very okay? No? Okay.
Let's say I would make a motion to, that the board approve alternate one.
Second.
Any more discussion? Are we? All right, roll call, please.
Fred Davis,
Yes.
Vicky Harder-Taper,
Yes.
Mary Hess,
No.
Terry Millet,
Yes.
Victoria Newport,
Yes.
Chris Smith,
Yes.
Howard Sutton.
Yes.
And then so they're talking about this open enrollment date, so we're still on board.
Yep.
That's gonna go. Okay.
And it'll be online, so, and it'll be a passive thing, so it's, you know, if no one's making changes to their benefits,
Yeah.
then it's gonna be pretty simple, which should hopefully help benefit
Okay.
people.
And just to comment, Ben and Cindy and Andrea and the HR people have been working real hard to get this data cleaned up, so they've put in a lot of hours.
I have a question, Victoria. The new system with the computerized whatever you do, are you gonna be able to look at hospital bills more carefully and see when charges are improperly put on an invoice?
So what we're gonna be proposing after the first of the year is to look at cost containment programs like that,
Okay.
where we go in and we ensure that the correct diagnostic codes are being used, that they're being billed correctly, things of that nature, as well as looking at cost containment programs for prescription drugs. Because that's where you're seeing a lot of healthcare increases, that prescription drug costs are going way up. And there's ways to help curtail those increases. Simple things like changing out a brand name for a generic, even though it's the same drug. And things along the line of, a lot of times these manufacturers will take 2 or 3 drugs, combine them into one and charge like 20 times what it costs to have them separate. So you can then separate those so someone has to take 2 drugs instead of 1, but it's saving the plan thousands of dollars a year by doing that. So there's different things that we're gonna be discussing after the first.
How is our mail order pharmacy program? Because I know that many times, that's a big savings for the district.
Yeah, so, that's another thing that we'll be looking at. Right now, I think it's, and I don't have the numbers for me, I think it's utilized pretty well. Obviously, the copay's going up.
Right.
So that, will have some impact on it. But definitely, those are the types of things that we're gonna be looking at when we're looking at cost containment, is moving, like you said, from a 30-day to a 90-day prescription fill. And those types of things where you can incentivize individuals to do that, because you can't force them to do it. But you can incentivize them with $5 gift cards, and in turn, it saves the plan $500 and things like that, so that we can try and get the costs in line so that we're not continuing to make large changes or have as high of increases. I'm not gonna promise that there's gonna be no increase, but we're gonna try and keep that as in line as possible.
All right, thank you. Okay. And next we have approval of personnel action items.
No.
Wait,
Wait.
we have
Still not done.
Vision.
You thought you were done with something, but you're not.
So the vision portion of the plan, they did choose to make a modification to see a 5% reduction in net premium. And so what they are moving to is that eyeglasses, you can only go in once every 2 years to get new eyeglasses versus once a year.
No, frames.
Right. Oh, frames.
Yeah, new frames every 2 years, but you can get the lenses changed out, didn't you? I asked that, right?
You did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, no, it's going in and getting new frames, changing that from doing it once a year to having people do that once every 2 years. There's a difference between an 8% increase and a 5% decrease in the vision, which equates out
Which
to.
is 4,049.
So lenses you can, frames you can't.
Right.
That makes sense.
Because when you
examination, optometrist examination covered in this?
Yes, yes, so that's not changing, the only thing that's changing is the frames. How often you can replace those frames.
So what do we motion?
We need to make a motion to have the IMED vision renewal with the frame frequency reduction from 12 to 24 months.
There you go, second.
Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
There you go.
Yes.
Mary Hess,
Yes.
Terry Millet,
Yes.
Victoria Newport,
Yes.
Craig Smith,
Yes.
Howard Song,
Yes.
Brendan.
Yes.
Now it's,
Dental.
Dental.
If there's a game on or something.
so there were alternatives for that as well, but what they would like to see, the feedback that came back was that the percentile of which they get reimbursed, correct, was 80%?
Yeah, so there were a lot of complaints that people were hearing about the dental not reimbursing as much as people would like or that they were used to in the past. So what we did was we went out and we quoted both the 90th percentile and the 99th percentile versus 80th percentile, which is what it is currently. And what that means is that when a dental carrier looks to reimburse an individual for a dental procedure, they're going to look at what is usual and customary in the region for that procedure. So if it's $100 for that procedure, they're going to take whatever the percentile is that the plan dictates and pay that amount. So right now that's at 80%, so it would be $80. And then we went out and we got quotes for a 90th percentile, so we bumped it up to $90 and 99th percentile, which we bumped it up to 99. And the insurance committee wanted to bump that up to 90%, which gives an additional increase to the plan because you're enriching the benefit. And that increase went from 9% to 10.2%, which equates to a total increase of $35,000 for that dental program.
So what's that come out to per check, roughly?
I know
That's big, man, you got the title.
Do you have a quote on 80%?
So the 80% is at the 80% is an 8% increase, or sorry, 9% increase. And to move to the 90th percentile is a 10.2% increase, so another 1.2% increase.
And what are the dollar amounts associated with those?
So for 10.2%, it's a $35,000, 356.
Commission. Right?
That is, give me 1 second.
This one? Right? David?
He's looking at that.
Yep, so the total increase with no change is $39,796. For what it is currently at the 80th percentile.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry. The increase is what number?
So if we don't change anything to the plan, it's a 9% increase, which equates to $39,796 approximately. If we go to the 90th percentile alternative plan, that's a 10.2% increase, which equates to $45,102. So you're talking about just under $6,000 change to enhance the benefit.
Did we get multiple quotes on this or just one?
Just one for this as well.
And what was the committee recommendation?
The 90th percentile. So the 45
Got you pushing some buttons here.
Yeah,
Didn't mean to do this to you.
no, it's fine.
You talk about me when we're done tonight. It's all right, I'm used to it. Been a very long time.
So actually, I think I have what these numbers might break down to. So for employee only, without changing the plan design, just a 9% increase appears to be going from $30.96 to $33.75. And then to go to that 90th percentile is another less than $1. You go from $33.75, which is the 9% increase, to $34.12 for the 90th percentile.
And that's for what, for a month?
Per month, yes.
And there was a cap on that, it's for a year, or was that uncapped? The amount of coverage, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's caps and there's deductibles, and none of that's being changed. It's just
And what was the cap on the dental? I forgot.
I don't have that in front of me.
Okay, that's all right.
Thoughts, questions?
I got some curiosities, I don't think it's gonna impact our decision, but just if anyone can inform me, I'd be interested to know. My experience is, if you don't have insurance, you can go out and you can find a medical clinic or a hospital. There are ways to get treated. Eyeglasses, same thing. If you don't have insurance, you see ads on television all the time, 2 pair for $40 or whatever, right? There are cut rate ways to take care of yourself for vision and for medical, not so for dental, from what I've ever seen. Can you say anything about that? I mean, I don't know if this is a little bit off the track here.
Yeah, they've got discount programs, which I think is what you're referring to. If you can do those types of discount programs, either through some type of association that you are a member of, whether that be Costco, whether that be USA or what have you. A lot of these organizations have discount programs for everything from dental, vision, prescription drugs, hearing. So it really covers, a large segment of the benefits. But going from what you have now to something like that is a dramatic change. So that's not something I would recommend. We can look at that next year if you want, but that's really completely changing what the intent of the program is.
My assumption is that our plan reflects the age of our employees,
Yes.
because obviously older people have different
Yeah,
needs.
so with this,
Families with kids.
MetLife had a cap on their renewal, which is why the renewal was where it was at. The experience and the demographics, all of that was calling for a 17% increase, but because of the way the contract's written, they were capped. So this was just a situation where the cap ended up benefiting you all because it was calling for a much higher increase than what it was.
Listen, currently our DCTA for individual dental pays 77 cents. It would look to maybe increase to 85 cents a page.
Really?
And that's for individual dental.
Which plan?
The dental, for the DCTA member, individual dental will be 77 cents a paycheck, but can move to 85 cents.
Is that for the 9% or?
That's for the
10.2?
10.2. I mean, it's practically the same because we're talking pennies.
Thank you.
Further question, it may be completely irrelevant to this, but are these plans when we go to pay a dentist does a set amount of work, and for a customer to walk in the door with the same number of dollar bills, will they be able to buy this work, or are we getting a discount on it and paying the dentist less?
I don't know if I'm fully understanding your question, but
Do we pay the dentist the same as what a customer pays the dentist?
do we as the group?
As an insurer, does the insurance company pay the dentist the same thing?
Oh,
that the
no,
customer pays the
they've
dentist?
got discounts that are negotiated. So therefore, you as the consumer get a better deal because now you're looking at deductibles and things of that nature on a lower amount than if you just go in off the street where you're going to be paying the full freight.
That's not what I found in my experience in the past. In particular, was a case of eyeglasses. This is a long time ago. But I remember going to use my insurance for my eyeglasses. I could get a better deal out of pocket than I could going through my vision plan at work. So, I mean, sometimes my point is that Yeah, that sometimes the person off the street, if they're paying cash, can actually get the same service for a lower fee than the discount that's provided to that employee, you know, by that contracted dental office through the insurance plan.
But
So
that's not,
do we want to make a motion there, more discussion on this?
Make a motion.
So you make a motion.
Okay.
Second. You motion?
What do you motion for?
Vicky, what?
When we accept the recommendations of the committee.
And the choices are to allow it at the 90th percentile alternative at 10.2%, leave it how it is at a 9%, or go to the 99th percentile alternative with a 12.5% increase to the premium.
And the committee's recommendation is what?
To spend $45,102.60 more at the 90th percentile.
So is that our motion?
And that satisfies this issue of they're not getting what they usually get. Is that right?
It's
That was
supposed
the
to, but I
rationale.
have no, I mean,
It improves what they get paid. It improves the coverage, yes.
I make a motion to, what would you say? Make a motion to.
Deja vu.
To,
10.2%.
The 90th percentile.
I make a motion to approve the 90th percentile alternative. It's a 10.2% increase in dental coverage.
I'll second.
no,
Camilla,
Yes.
Victoria Newport,
no,
Rick Smith,
Yes.
Carl Solomon,
Yes.
Ray Davis,
Yes.
Vicky Gunvalson.
Motion passes. Okay. Next we have basic life and AD&D voluntary life and long-term disability.
Okay, this one's easy.
All right.
Save the best for last. So the incumbent carrier, Mutual Omaha, came in with a renewal that was a 15% increase to the current basic life plan, as well as an increase to the supplemental life, which is employee paid. The basic life is paid by the district, and a flat renewal on the voluntary long-term disability, which is paid for by the employee. We went to market and we were able to provide an alternative with Voya Financial, who used to be ING, for those of you that are more familiar with the company ING. That was able to provide 0% increase to all premiums for basic life, sub life, and voluntary LTD, with a 3-year rate guarantee versus a 2-year from Mutual Omaha. And they're including, as previously discussed, the EAP program into the life benefit at no additional cost. So there's no increase to the program, and you're saving that $20,000 by not paying out of pocket for the EAP program.
But the EAP plan is changing.
The EAP plan is changing, but it is not, for what you all have right now, it's a very rich EAP plan. So what it provides is 8 face-to-face visits with a counselor for every single issue that you have throughout the year. Yeah, so there were 28 instances of this program being used. So it's not necessarily 28 individuals, but 28 instances. Half of those instances did not use the face-to-face visits at all. They only used the telephonic interaction with the counselors. And then amongst the 14 that used the face-to-face visits, there was a wide range of how many visits they used, but there was a handful of people that used that maximum amount. So you're talking about impacting 5 individuals on the very high end, most likely a lot less than that, because you still do get face-to-face visits with this EAP program, but instead of 8, you get 3. So you still have 3 face-to-face visits per issue per occurrence. So it's very within what the industry standards are. It's just not quite as rich, but it provides you with that $20,000 savings.
And they just want to, pretty much like a 3-year guarantee. Is what you're saying, instead of 2 years?
instead of 2 years. But again, this is not something where you have to agree to 3 years. We can take it out to market next year, try and get better rates and change. The rate guarantee is only on their part. So it's not like a cell phone contract where you get penalized if you leave. It's just them saying we cannot increase the rates for 3 years. But you as the district have the right to leave at any time.
I make a motion. Life insurance, supplementary health insurance, something like
Some of
that.
the life and voluntary.
Yeah, all those.
With Voya, right? With Voya.
Yes, with life.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Mary Collette,
Yes.
Victoria Newport,
Yes.
Rick Smith,
Yes.
Howard Song,
Yes.
Fred Davis,
Yes.
Aaron in favor,
Yes.
Mary Hess.
Yes.
Thanks, Andy.
So can we just say one thing, for David here, who is, we've made David work really hard for
My
us.
pleasure.
So we should say thank you.
Yes.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the business. We really appreciate it. And we're excited for the open enrollment, for you folks to be able to use our platform and to be able to come back in January and give you some stats around the success of the enrollment and around the success of the cleanup of the data. And to thankfully, hopefully be able to take a lot of work off.
Poor man. You go back to slide rule now. You don't have to use it much.
All right, thank you.
Great.
So next we have approval of personnel action items. That the Board of Education approve the personnel action items as attached.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Rick Smith,
Yes.
Howard Song,
Yes.
Fred Davis,
Yes.
Aaron in favor,
Yes.
Mary Hess.
Yes.
Mary Collette,
Yes.
Victoria Newport.
Yes. Okay, and with that, then we will adjourn to closed session. That the Board of Education adjourn to closed session to discuss the acquisition and/or lease of real property, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance or dismissal of specific employees of the public body, collective bargaining, student disciplinary matters, and probable litigation, after which action may be taken.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Fred Davis?
Yes.
Victoria in favor?
Yes.
Mary Collette?
Yes.
Victoria Newport?
Yes.
Rick Smith?
Yes.
Howard Sullivan?
We're gonna have to have the tape.
Thank you, everybody.